Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we will be running through day 15 of the World Cup. Sorry, it's a slightly later video today, just been too lazy to sit here and record, honestly. But as you can see on the right hand side, Norway against France is now kicked off. What a crazy game it's been. I'm not watching it live or anything because in my opinion, right, the group stages now, it started off really exciting and fun, and it's gotten to a point now where I just want the knockout stages, man. I just want the round of 32, round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals, the final. Like, I just want the high stake game because realistically, both Norway and France are true. Norway are playing their B team, France are playing their A team, and although Norway are doing well enough to score and still be in the game, it just doesn't give that sort of incentive to go and watch that game, honestly. So I'll rather just record, I guess. But I will still do these videos, and I will watch the highlights of it. I'm just not going to watch every game remaining. I will watch a couple. I did watch Germany, Ecuador last night as well. And I thought that was a pretty good game. That was the only game I watched from last night and tonight. I mean, Spain Uruguay might be a good game. Honestly, I think Spain Uruguay might be a good game. But let's talk about last night, yesterday, with the first game being Curacao against Ivory Coast, 2-0. Nicolas Pepe with the double. Two really good goals and celebration as well, by the way. I really like that. But yeah, Ivory Coast doing well. Have they been the best African side apart from Morocco? Probably, yeah. And I think Egypt could well still, you know, do pretty well. Senegal are gonna need a bit of luck, but honestly, I think Senegal have massively underachieved in their group. South Africa did a great job in Group A as well, to go through. But I mean, yeah, in general, Ivory Coast have looked pretty good, and fair play to them. Um, and they will take on they will take on an unknown team yet. I don't know what group they will be playing against, like which team from what group they will be playing against. I'm kind of too lazy to go and check that out. But if they do make it through to the round of 16, then I believe they will play either Brazil or Japan, and I think that will be a really really big game, a really interesting game, I would say, because I think Ivory Coast are really good. I don't think they are. I will say this still. I don't think when you look at the squad, they're as good as Senegal or Morocco in terms of African sides. But clearly, they're doing something right, even without the level of quality as other African teams have, to still be winning games, to still be making it through, automatically, not as a third place team. But they're doing a really good job. Kudos to them. And for Curacao, they've had a good World Cup. I don't think the expectations were ever going to be making it out of the group or anything like that. But they didn't get dominated in this game, really. And they they leave um, with a point that they took against Ecuador, and they end up conceding 9 goals. But I know it sounds bad, but 7 of them were against Germany, and Germany were crazy in the first game. Um, so yeah, they did well, and you know overall this group is concluded with Germany themselves, but they were pretty bad, and I think that would be a bit of an understatement. Germany for me are a side that I think will, you know, rejuvenate, if that's the right term to use. They will be a different team. They will do better than they did 4 years ago, 8 years ago. But they're not gonna win the World Cup. They're not gonna make it to the final, I don't think. And I don't even think they'll make it to the semi-finals. I think the quarterfinals is as good as it gets, and that I think would be the peak of where they get into this World Cup. Because the last two games, right? The game where they won against Ivory Coast and Undav came on and scored two late winners and won them the game, and this game where they lost eventually. One thing's for sure, and even the first game, right? Even the opening game when they won 7-1, they're they're like one of the only teams that I can think of, the top teams, that they have failed to basically keep a clean sheet. They have conceded in every single game, and I just think that is the worry for them. I think defensively that is the problem. Like when you look on paper, right? Raum, Schlotterbeck is injured, I know, but Raum, Rudiger, Tar, and who are they playing? Kimmich, right? That as a back four is good. Neuer is still a good keeper. He made the mistake for the second goal, but he's still a good keeper. And when they have everyone fit, so Nathaniel Brown, Schlotterbeck, but he's now gonna be out. So Brown, Rudiger, Tar, Kimmich, like that is as good as a back four as they've had in ages, right? The midfield and the attack is not a concern. They can and they will score goals. Nemanja is a great midfield player. Plavaric is a good player next to him. The attack, I think Sane is past it. He's got a goal, but I don't think Sane is all that. Wirtz, Musiala, decent players. Like, they haven't been at that level that they were a couple of years ago. They're still good players, but we are yet to really see it from Musiala. Wirtz has been alright, pretty good. And, up front they've got Havertz as well. But I just think the attack isn't the problem, the defense is. And I'm struggling to understand why. Like, it can't be just all Neuer's, mistake. And it can't just be all about Neuer being in goal. Like, surely something about the back four, apart from Neuer, like the back four, surely something about that isn't clicking. They've conceded 4 goals, right? No clean sheets. 4 goals in 3 games against Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador does not bode well for a German league side. Like, it doesn't. So, yeah, defensively, it will be their downfall, in my opinion. But take nothing away from Ecuador, man. Like, Sane's got a good goal early on. Like, was it a foul? For me, personally, I don't think it was. I think it's high, yes, but the defender did put his head in to the boot of the player, and Sane scored. But the response, right? Germany started off really well the first 5 minutes, and you were just thinking, are Germany going to steamroll? Are they going to go and get a 2-3-4-0 win? Are they going to do what we expect them to? They didn't. Angelus got, an incredible goal. But then, that sort of resilience from Ecuador for the remainder of the first half to just take it 1-1, and they probably should have scored a couple. Followed by a second half where they were hungry, they saw, they sensed that they can get the win, which they did. An incredible goal from Plata. I know it's from a corner, which we'll get onto in just a second, but he had his shirt pulled and he still tapped it in. So, really happy for Ecuador. For them, they will be playing against somebody that I don't know yet. It's not been confirmed who they'll be playing against because they finished third, but they should be safe, right? I don't think there are many teams left that will be able to be one of the better teams that finish third. So looking at the third place teams, like I think Scotland are screwed. Senegal might be screwed as well. They're currently winning, but it's not looking good, bruv. Yeah, we still have to wait for the other groups. To be honest, but I think 4 points should be good. Like I said in yesterday's video, I believe 4 points should be enough. So let's see. But congrats to them for the win. You can see how much it meant to the manager, who are celebrating quite intensely, which fair enough. And yeah, Ecuador are all but true, right? Anyways, next up we have got Tunisia 1, Netherlands 3. The Dutch doing really well. They look like a good team, like a different team. Again, a bit like Germany, but the one thing I will say of them is, again, they haven't kept the clean sheet, right? They've conceded in every game. But that has not affected them in terms of scoring goals, but also it hasn't affected them losing. They're not conceding goals, but not scoring enough. So they didn't concede 2 goals and score only 1. For example, they conceded 1 goal and scored 3. Against Japan, they conceded 2 and they scored 2. Like, they are still getting results on the board. They are still getting the points on the board. And I think for them, you know, the expectations I think are generally lower than Germany. I think that's fair to say, at least in my opinion. And they just seem to be playing better as a team. Like, even defensively, like, they have good players, and arguably they have got better defense than Germany. Like, you know, they've got Van Dijk, Dumfries, the new Real Madrid player, Van Heck, you know, usually it's Van der Ven, but they've got Ake as well as backup. Gertruda's in there. You know, they have got players who, you know, are good defensive players, but they just play as a team. They just play as a team, and defensively they are solid. Like I said, they are conceding goals, but it's not like it's affecting them and their results, because they're scoring as well. So from defense to attack, it's balanced. Defense is doing a good enough job, even though it's conceding. The midfield and the attack are doing a good enough job by scoring. Whereas I look at Germany, right? When the attack is clicking and they're doing really well, the defense isn't doing really, really well. But when the defense is doing poorly, the attack can also do poorly. So it's sort of like either double negative or positive negative. Like, there's never really a click. Whereas with the Dutch, it's like middle positive, middle positive. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, go in for them. They top the group. Tunisia, man, like, quick word on them. Sacked their manager. Brought in Renard, and it's just been a mess. Like, it's not his fault. I think, you know, when you come in to a side like Tunisia, like, the expectations, like, what is the expectations in a group with Netherlands, Japan, and Sweden? Like, are you thinking you can finish at least third? Like, I would think that's a bit of a, you know, unrealistic expectation if that was the case. And if that wasn't the case, then why did you sack the previous manager? But either way, they go home as, you know, one of, if not the worst teams in the World Cup, honestly. But yeah, disappointing from them. I really like Renard as a manager, honestly. Like, we all saw what he did with Saudi Arabia in the previous World Cup when they beat Argentina. But yeah, not meant to be this time round. And also in this group, Japan and Sweden draw 1-1. Sweden go through. What a goal by Elanga, by the way. Incredible. But that isn't good because I do have Sweden as my World Cup semi-finalists, don't I? And the way things are going, it's not looking good, bruv. But yeah, I mean, I think Sweden have underperformed, but Elanga has been incredible. And Japan will play Brazil, which I think is incredible. Again, I didn't talk about Netherlands. They will play Morocco, right? Netherlands will play Morocco. That is gonna be one hell of a game. But on the other side, Japan play Brazil. Now that is a game. That is a game. You know, I fully expect Brazil to win. I have them as my finalists. Every team that I predict to go far are going to have to pull off ridiculous, showings. Like, I think Brazil could do well. Like, I have a feeling they're cooking. Vini is doing well. Cunha is doing well. Neymar is back. Like, they're cooking. But when you talk about knockout stages, it's one game. One game is all it takes to make or break the World Cup for the team. Sweden, look, they have been shocking, to be honest, but I think they will bounce back, hopefully. I don't know who they'll play, but it doesn't sound like it's gonna be good. So yeah, let's see. But Japan Brazil, that is a game. That's a game to watch. Next up, can I just move on? Paraguay nil, Australia nil. I believe both teams are making it through anyways, but yeah, I mean, what a terrible game. Australia, their team that their opponent are still undecided. Well, the USA will be playing Bosnia. I don't know who. I don't know who Australia will get, but if they somehow make it to the round of 16, they could play Argentina. So I'm just saying. Um, but yeah. And Paraguay, I think I'm making it true as well. I mean, this is just a boring 0-0, like nothing going on. But yeah, as it says here, like Paraguay will have to wait. I would assume they will, because like I said, they're on 4 points, I believe, which should be enough. You would think there are 4 teams will need to be eliminated, right? So for that to happen, Croatia will need to beat Ghana, which could be a draw. Like, there's a draw written all over it, to be fair. And goal difference will obviously come in play. Congo will need to beat Uzbekistan. Who knows what's going to happen in that game. Algeria will have to beat Austria. Or Jordan. Actually, Jordan can't do anything, to be honest. And Senegal are winning at the moment, but it's still not enough. And then Uruguay will need to beat Spain, or Cape Verde or Saudi Arabia will need to beat each other. So, for example, Saudi Arabia win, they go to 4 points. Uruguay win, they go to 5 points. Saudi Arabia will be on 4. But honestly, like, Group G as well, like, Belgium's group. Belgium are currently 3rd. They need to beat New Zealand later on. But yeah, let's see. Last but not least, Arda Güler finally scored. He was basically everything that Turkey did to win. He was involved in practically everything. Yeah, a good first goal by the USA trustee with the corner back post volley, and then Güler scored. Berhalter, by the way, what a goal that was. And yeah, Turkey win. Obviously they were already going to go home. They were already exiting, but good fight by them. I'm just happy that Güler is coming back, honestly. And I think Jose Mourinho said this as well. In an interview, he said that he wants every Real Madrid player to be knocked out ASAP. Because he wants them to be back ready for preseason, which is a selfish way of thinking, but I like that. Um, and yeah, the USA losing, they rotated heavily, so I think they were already sort of happy if they had lost. But for them, they will be playing against Bosnia, like I said earlier. So I think that's a favorable draw. I do. And it's yet to be confirmed who they will play in the round of 16 if they do beat Bosnia, which I think they will, because having watched Bosnia a couple of times, they don't look all that anyways. But yeah, that'll be it. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, hit the button, subscribe to the channel on already. I will go and get a second video out later on, as we'll have some Real Madrid news to talk about. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.